2 portal is active now. Uranus Retrograde ends today. 8 shifts you must pay attention to. This is not a drill. Right now you are standing at a hinge in time. A recent full moon has opened a channel. The 2 portal is active, and Uranus, after months of inner rearranging, stops its backward motion and begins to move forward again. Today is the crossing point. Small choices made in this narrow window will be amplified. Small decisions can become the scaffolding for the next months. If you've felt something resorting inside you these last weeks, this is the moment the outer world is likely to begin matching that inner change. Quick frame. The full moon cleared the stage. Feelings and impressions rose up for clarity. The 2 portal amplified a specific kind of alignment and timing, a doorway that asks for a clear marker. Uranus, going direct, takes whatever you've quietly reworked and sets it into motion. Retrograde was the inner lab. Direct motion is the field test. That's the sequence. Full moon, 2 portal. Uranus direct. The energy here asks for attention, not panic. It asks for small courage, not giant leaps. If this resonates, take a second now. Like this video and subscribe for daily astro updates. This window is tight, and I'll be sharing practical prompts as the cycle unfolds. Why this matters in plain terms. When an outer planet like Uranus stations direct after a retrograde, it's like a giant gear clicking back into alignment. What has been turning slowly inside you, opinions, tolerances, instinctive defaults, now begins to push outward. What you once adjusted privately can start to rearrange circumstances around you. That doesn't mean fate is set in stone. It means the probability for certain dynamic shifts. You have agency. This energy amplifies choices you actually make and nudges things in the direction you've already been leaning. Below are 8 shifts to watch for in this very narrow window. For each, I'll name the shift, describe how it may feel or what signals to watch, explain the likely impact, and give you a short, concrete micro-action or mindset prompt you can use immediately. Think of these as practical checkpoints to guard your clarity and to make small, decisive moves that the universe will help accelerate, not to force outcomes, but to align probability with your intention. 1. Decision gravity. Title: Decision gravity. Small choices today carry outsized weight tomorrow. Feeling: signals. You'll notice moments when a choice seems heavier than usual, a message that feels like an ultimatum, an impulse to reply differently, a savings decision that suddenly feels symbolic. Time may feel condensed. Options that normally felt equal now have a magnetic pull toward one direction. You might feel a sense of urgency without panic, a quiet pressure to pick. Impact: because of the portal's amplifying effect and Uranus moving direct, those small, decisive tilts can create momentum. A yes or no might simplify a path you've been muddling over for months. This is not about dramatic, reckless change. It's about choosing in line with the inner recalibrations you already did during the retrograde. Micro-action. Prompt: when you feel that weight, pause for one clear, non-reactive breath. Name the smallest next step that aligns with the tilt. Say, I will reply tomorrow, or I will book one meeting, or I will let this go. Commit to that micro-step for 24-48 hours and watch what unfolds. Small anchors matter more now than sweeping promises. 2. Natural detachment. Title: Natural detachment. Things that don't fit start to detach on their own. Feeling: signals. There's a quiet easing around certain people, habits, or roles. You'll notice energy withdrawing rather than you having to push it away. Conversations that used to excite you land flat. A former obligation feels heavier than the reward it gives. Sometimes detachment arrives as boredom, sometimes as gentle relief. Impact: the retrograde helped you see what no longer serves. Uranus direct tends to finalize those inner adjustments by making the outer world reflect them. You won't necessarily have to force a breakup or resign. Often friction reduces because the energetic match is gone and options rearrange accordingly. Micro-action. Prompt. Instead of making a dramatic cut, practice soft release for 1 week. Stop investing emotional or logistical energy into the thing that feels off. Reduce your response rate. Decline one new ask related to it and notice what naturally changes. Track how your attention shifts and let the external follow what you've already let go of inside. 3. Values rearrangement. Title: Values rearrangement. Your priorities quietly reorder. What used to excite you may now feel flat. Feeling? Signals: expect small shocks of recognition. A job that once felt meaningful now feels like a checkbox. A friendship that used to be central now feels peripheral. Money goals or lifestyle markers begin to lose their luster. There may be a slow, almost secret reprioritization where inner alignment trumps external approval. Impact? As your internal scale rebalances, your daily decisions will start reflecting new priorities. Over time, this rearrangement redirects where you spend your time, attention, and resources. Uranus in Taurus favors stabilizing what's more aligned, so what you reprioritize now can solidify into new patterns of habit and reward. Micro-action prompt. Write down 3 things that no longer feel essential and 3 things that now feel quietly important. For the lesser list, remove 1 small, habitual investment, a subscription, a weekly commitment, a habitual scroll. For the new list, schedule 1 tiny action that signals the shift, an hour of study, a conversation, or a changed morning routine. 4. Amplified attention. Title: Amplified attention. The portal magnifies both clarity and distraction. Guard your focus. Feeling? Signals. You may experience moments of extreme clarity, insights arriving like a ping, or you could be bombarded by shiny diversions that pull you off course. This is the portal's double edge. It sharpens perception while increasing noise. Notifications, coincidences, and emotional hooks may all demand your bandwidth. Impact? What you choose to focus on now tends to grow faster. Attention is a form of energy investment, and under this portal, your investments are more potent. If you protect your clarity, you compound the internal shifts you've made. If you scatter your attention, the energy dissipates. Micro-action. Prompt: create a fortress of focus for the next 24 to 72 hours. That could mean turning off non-essential notifications, batching responses, or using a 30-minute rule. When a distraction arises, write it down, close the tab, and return to your prioritized task for 1 uninterrupted block. Your focus is the currency of this day. Spend it intentionally. Comment highlight: a human anchor. Someone in the community recently wrote, "I chose silence for a week and finally heard what I was avoiding." That silence wasn't empty, it was a refining tool. In this portal, quiet is not wasted time. It is the clearest signal you can give yourself. 5. Internal to external manifestation. Title: Internal to external manifestation. Private shifts begin to show up in the world. Feeling? Signals. A subtle inner decision, an adjusted boundary, a new conviction, a small act of self-respect starts to produce external feedback. Different people show up, conversations change tone, opportunities get redirected. These are often tiny at first. An email tone shifts, a colleague reassigns responsibility, a friend asks a question in a new way. Impact: this is the moment when your inner house starts to influence the street outside. Uranus direct acts like a relay. The internal voltage you've been building during retrograde gets connected to external circuits. It doesn't force outcomes, but it improves the odds that the outer world will mirror your realignment. Micro-action. Prompt: identify 1 internal change you made during the retrograde and quietly test it in the outer world. For example, if you've decided to value your time more, decline the next non-essential meeting and note the reaction. Record the feedback, without judging it. These tests are more data than destiny. Use them to calibrate your next small step. 6. Stabilizing shock. Title: Stabilizing shock. Unexpected solutions arrive that bring surprising stability. Feeling signals. In the wake of disruption, there may be sudden, oddly practical breakthroughs, a late-stage favor that stabilizes your finances temporarily, a new schedule that reduces chaos, an unforeseen ally who offers a structured fix. These stabilizing shocks can feel like luck, but they often line up with the inner work you did. Impact: Uranus in Taurus favors tangible fixes. Once it moves direct after a retrograde, practical stabilizers can appear in surprising forms. They don't erase the need for stewardship, but they create openings to consolidate. Micro-action. Prompt: When a surprising solution appears, take 2 breaths and evaluate with one practical question. Does this allow me to sustain the change I want? If yes, say yes, on a small scale. Use the shock as a bridge, not an excuse to revert. Document how the solution changes your daily capacity and adjust your plan accordingly. 7. Reopen doors with new eyes. Title: Reopen doors with new eyes. Past chapters can resurface so you can walk through differently. Feeling signals. People, projects, or opportunities from your past may reappear. The difference this time is you're not the same person. The doorway looks familiar, but the way you see it has shifted. You might find yourself considering a previously closed path, but with clearer terms and healthier boundaries. Impact: This is a chance for reconciliation or re-entry, but only if you bring your new perspective. Uranus direct can reopen doors that retrograde helped you understand. The key is: don't walk back through any door without enforcing the boundaries and awareness you've developed. Micro-action. Prompt: If an old opportunity resurfaces, ask 2 clarifying questions before committing. What is different about this now? And what boundary will I hold? If you can't name the difference and the boundary, offer a short, provisional commitment instead of a full return, a trial that protects your new alignment. 8. Stacked synchronicities. Title: Stacked synchronicities. Signs and coincidences stack up and point your way. Feeling, to signals. You'll notice a pattern of small mirrors, repeated numbers, overheard phrases, serendipitous meetings, a book that lands open at a line you need. These coincidences feel like breadcrumbs, small, cumulative nudges toward a direction. Impact: Stacked synchronicities are not commands, they are invitations to interpret. They often confirm a tilt you already sense and can provide confidence to take the next practical step. When multiple small signs align, they increase your willingness to act. So pay attention to their pattern, not just the single ping. Micro-action. Prompt: Keep a synchronicity log for the next 72 hours. Write down 3 repeated signs you notice and the context around them. Use that list to inform one small experiment, a conversation, a check-in, a creative attempt. Treat the synchronicities as gentle pointers, not absolutes. A few practical guardrails to hold as you move through these shifts. Don't outsource your agency to the stars. Treat this energy as an amplifier of choices you make. Avoid dramatic, risky moves that stem from anxiety. The portal favors clarity over chaos. Act from the calm center, not adrenaline. A short note on timing and pacing. This window is narrow but active. Some effects will show immediately. Different emails, a new meeting, a subtle change in mood. Others will unfold over weeks as the environment reorganizes around your new priorities. Think in layers, immediate micro-actions followed by short-term consolidation and then longer-term habit building that cements the change. Keep an eye on 3 kinds of signals generally: energetic tone, how you feel about a thing when you imagine it; logistical friction, how many obstacles arise when you try to act; and mirrored feedback, how the outer world responds to a small test. Use those as data points, not verdicts. The portal magnifies small inputs, so feed it clarity, consistency, and small courage. If you need a simple starter checklist for the next 48 hours, choose one decision that feels heavier than usual and commit to a micro step. Protect your attention with at least 2 focused work blocks per day. Try one soft release. Reduce investment in something that no longer fits. Note any synchronicities in a short list and act on one that feels clearly aligned. Stay gentle with yourself. Change under these skies can feel sudden and strange, but Uranus in Taurus ultimately aims to stabilize what's more honest and practical for your life. The energy tends to reward measured courage and clear boundaries more than impulsive heroics. So be brave, but be wise. As this portal moves the machinery of life, remember that stabilization often follows disruption. Unexpected solutions and rearranged priorities can lead to a steadier, more authentic rhythm. The world is not trying to break you. It's trying to reconfigure around who you are becoming. If it all feels intense, that's normal. Lean into small, practical steps instead of theatrical statements. Those are the ones that stick. Now, one last call to action. Share in the comments the most striking sign you've seen since this cycle began. One sentence, one small synchronicity, one shifted priority. I'll be watching and sharing updates as Uranus settles into its forward motion. Follow for live updates through this cycle so you can ride these shifts with clarity and intention. Today is the crossing point. Guard your clarity, claim your small, courageous steps, and let the outer world catch up to the person you've already been quietly becoming.